Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1, let's go Eastern player, and then working our way southward, we have the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall with a couple of ones in his name and in his rating as well. It is Dimitri11 in Rust as a Cybran. He is, like I said, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall at a 2100 rating. To his west, we have in Pac-Man Yellow Team 1's Pyrolite something. I'm going to call him Pi for short. He is a UEF as a 1000 rated player. In Ruby Red, next door to him is the other UEF for Team 1. It is Nagel. He is a 1500 in, like I said, Ruby Red. In Chevy Crimson, his south by, that's more like west by southwest. It is Parsley 53 as a Seraphim in Chevy Crimson as a 1000 rated. And for Team 1's northwestern corner player, we have MSG, the best food additive in the world, or at least one of the best. He is in Light Oak Town as a 1700. So for Team 1 side of the map, it is 2 UEF, 2 Cybran, 1 Seraphim, no Aeon for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's western player, then going eastward, we have in Snow White, Team 2's Drimmer. He is a UEF for this match. He is also tied for the highest rated player on his team at a, again, 2000 rated. To his east, we have in Orange Together Orange, Roy Stun, or Roy for short. He is an 1100 as a Seraphim. In forest green in the middle here for Team 2, it is Kom Petrovic. He is a Cybran as a 1200. And northeast of him, we have in glow in the dark green, Jojo Joy. He is a UEF as an 1100. Reminds me of Bobobo in the way that you have to just kind of say the name very quickly. Last but not least, for Team 2, we have in Imperial Gray a UEF as well. He is Yoji. 2000 rated player with which he is tied with is Drimmer on that western edge of the map. And again, he is a 2000 rated player. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 3 UEF, 1 Seraphim, 1 Cybran. Team 2 and Team 1 lack Aeon tech, which means for the entirety of the match, there are no Aeon players. Apologies to those loyal to the Princess. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And of course, without the Aeon faction, we don't get the Aurora, we don't get the Harmages, and of course we don't get the glorious Galactic Colossus in this game. And for these 15 players on the map, let's take a look how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at 154,000 mass in reclaim, and I just want to illustrate what the map looks like, kind of a side view. Look at all of those rocks dotted around the map. Our players are going to be scooping up a reclaim very, very, very quickly, I would imagine, as they scale their ecos exponentially quickly, if I can actually say that word correctly, with all of these little rocks and all the little giant rocks or whatever you want to call those things. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Stonehenge there. Let's take a look at where our players are headed off to in this game. It is, again, pretty much a somewhat straightforward map. There's a central pond, which we might see some naval action. It is big enough to maybe be a concern, but it's not super annoyingly sized so that players can just avoid it. There are, of course, 2 sides. There is, or 2 lanes. There's the east and the west, unless you want to count the water, but looks like we have 3 players from Team 1 going west, and it looks like 1 going east at a minimum, most likely 2 if Pi joins his teammate of Dimitri Drimmer's on Team 2. Drimmer moving in on the west, though, with it looks like Roy moving in, and maybe it looks like Kom is going to push east with both Team 2's Yoji and Joy backing him up. So it's going to be in favor of Team 1 in the west and most likely favor of Team 2 in the east with maybe Navy. But there are a decent amount of mexes to grab as well. There's 2 Trimex positions in the west and 2 Trimex positions in the east. There are some mexes kind of dotted around, and a couple of mexes actually in the water as well. Nothing too crazy, though. There's only 2 of them. And, of course, as customary, there are more mexes in the backland. There's also another Trimex back here that Yoji's already grabbed. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead to see where the early action takes us. There's a little bit of skirmishing going down on the eastern edge. It does look like Team 1's partially trying to just completely cut off the western side of Team 2 from the water. We do see that Team 1's Nagel is going to actually get into the water there. Actually, no, he's in the water, but that is not his units. He is a UEF. There they are. There are his factories. We see that Parsley also getting into the water, surprisingly enough. So one comm diverted to that, and then one engineer devoted to it as well. Gun has been started here for Parsley. That's actually a pretty early upgrade. And in this map like this, it's not a full 20 by 20, probably about a 16 or so, because I can actually see the northern and southern edge of the game boundary thingamajiggy. It's probably just driven by the reclaim here. People already at, I mean, almost 10,000 mass, 13,000 mass. We see 42,000 mass scooped up for Team 1, 30,000 for Team 2. I mean, they are scaling very, very quickly here. And they got to transition that into, of course, T2, T3 engineers, T3 mexes, and, of course, the glorious T4 units. We're seeing a little bit more, not necessarily a run by, but just pushing back here against Yoji for Dimitri. We do see even some forces over here just helping out this western side of the east. No other upgrades here for Team 1 or for Team 2, surprisingly enough. We do see in the west, though, Team 1's MSG just holding position. Again, he's mainly focused on the reclaim. I don't blame him. And still, Team 1 is heavily just shoving everything down Team 2's throat. And even over here to the east, Yoji being slightly surrounded. He does get a T1 PD online. So that will help divert forces westward a little bit. But look at this. Dimitri 11 not letting up against his opponent here and actually going after some of Jojo Joy's forces. I probably will not say his name right or her name right at all as the game progresses, so I do apologize. But Yoji is not able to catch up in time, and those Mantis will be intercepted by a couple of strikers. T1 PD not going to finish anytime shortly here for Joy, and that will end that engineer's career. Gun started here for Comm, and we do see T2 started here for Drimmer, wherever he's over here. There he is, trying to, again, try to claim the western side and kind of keep Team 1 at bay. Gun started here for MSG. No other upgrades here for Parsley. Maybe he'll go for Nano or Missile, maybe. But as of right now, he's pushing against Drimmer's forces, and UEF actually getting some naval vessels online. Looks like Parsley just going to stick with the one facility. And Team 2 is going to hop into Navy ever so slightly here for Comm. Again, he's sitting and rooted to the spot with an upgrade, and he's also pushing back against this huge aggression here. More units break through the front lines here from Pi, so really the eastern side is being thrown just through the ringer. There's even more forces here for Dimitri. He is just pumping out those units, getting some more shields just to protect himself and probably... Actually, there's really nothing else of value, so just himself. Maybe he meant to build a P-Gen. He's building a shield. Yeah. He has T2 land online. He's control K'd most of his Team 1 facilities. T2, 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 and T2 for everybody on Team 1. And I think it's the same situation here for Team 2. Yep. Looks like it's at least one air player. Yoji already going for T3 tech. Dual land facilities. That's going for T3. Don't need two of those, especially all the way back there. And the upgrades have been continuing to progress. Team 1 just heavily trying to cut Team 2 off from any sort of use of the pawns here. They're saying no public pool access. This is going to be gated off, restricted. You got to pay a fee. You got to get a membership, a whole bunch of other things. It's not just free for the public. But look at this pressure here from Team 1. When they push Team 2 back past the 50% mark, or behind the 50% mark, I should say, and they own a decent portion of the map. And, of course, that is noted not only by the mass income, but also by the reclaim. Team 1 at 88,000, Team 2 56, which means they've scooped up pretty much all of the beginning reclaim on the map. And Team 1 has netted quite significantly more than Team 2. We do see a little bit more pushback with a couple of Ilshis online for Roy. And, again, a couple isn't going to be a huge concern for Parsley's commander, but again, he can be easily overwhelmed even by Team 1 units. Just so much pressure here on the eastern side. Team 1 just went full sended. Besides MSG, MSG's kind of just hanging out over here, not really pushing in. Same with Drimmer. He's like, well, I kind of like the fact that my side isn't being pushed, so I'm just going to hang out, go for a missile. He has T2 on board. He has a couple of PD as well. That's dealt with the rest of those incoming forces. It looks like Parsley's going to shift westward. And it is one of the downsides of kind of a pretty much relatively flat map is there's really no way to hide behind anything. Yeah, there's a couple of rocks or a couple of hills, but nothing too crazy, and most units can just roll over them anyways. No T2 Navy as of yet from anybody, but no, T2 Navy has been started by Team 1 and Team 2. So that is going to be possibly a point of contention. But again, given the fact that Team 1 owns probably about 70 to 65% of the entire circumference of the pond, I highly doubt this facility will stay on long enough unless Team 2 can push back heavily on one of the two sides. We do see those PD coming in handy, dealing with a couple of these units while the main tanks deal with the rest of that T1 spam. No Ilshi's in the mix, surprisingly enough, here for Parsley, and he's going to retreat back. Maybe he'll use the water to escape, but looks like he's going for more and more reclaim. To the north, a little bit of pushback here from Team 2, but again, nothing at all concerning. We do see MSG is just going to hang out. He has gun on board just in case he needs it, but he really hasn't have any reason to really use it as of yet. Nago going for some destroyers or cruisers? He's going to go for destroyers first, and Team 2 is going to go for their destroyers as well. Definitely the smarter play there. T2 torque launcher on the line just to have it, I guess, for comm. It's not really that important, but it's nice to just kind of say, hey, no T1 subs, thank you, and go away. Nano started here for comm. He has gun and stealth on board, and it looks like finally Team 2 has some sort of semblance of a front line, because it's been just battered and bruised and cut through. It's just not had a good day here. Missile outbound going after some T2 mechs. Is this going to help Team 2 catch up? They're over 100 mass deficit. Another missile inbound going to take out that T2 mechs. We do see, it looks like engineers are on a patrol route. That's 12 mass a second gone. And yeah, they are going to build some TMD. Again, they are going to be the Seraphim ones. So they are the, I don't know if they're the second. I'd say the Volcano, and then the Zapper, and then the Seraphim, and then the, of course, UEF Buzzkill, as it is known by its name of being a sometimes Buzzkill. In the west, units linking up here from Roy to Drimmer, maybe transferred over to him. A couple of Ilshis, a couple of parachutes to protect said Ilshis, and actually a couple of units from comm as well. Nothing too crazy, just a couple of Team 1 spam, but it's better than nothing. We do see another attack inbound from Dimitri. He is not letting Yoji get any sort of rest. Couple of Team 3 units, a bouncer and a brick. Couple of mongoose, which are not really going to do anything to a brick at this point. Tons of Team 1 spam with a couple of T2 units in there as well, trying to push against, looks like, Pi's forces. Pi at T3 Land Tech, producing nothing as of yet, except engineers. Bricks, nothing being produced in that facility as well. Looks like the main facilities are actually over here. And then it cuts a huge amount of travel time if you just put a couple of facilities on the front line, upgrade them to T2, T3, and then never build from the main facility. Just stick with the frontline ones. They'll have this conga line of units that can just easily redeploy. I mean, you're going to spend the mass anyways. You might as well just spend it on something else. T3 bomber online, severely damaged. Half of its hit points already knocked off. And it's nice to have, but Team 1 knows about it, so not as effective as it could have been. Georgia Joy going for a gun upgrade. And it looks like Drimmer's making a little bit more pushing. Couple of TMD. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go for maybe a shield and some PD or something, because Team 2's western-ish side is, again, it's fine, but it's not doing super well. We do see a couple of Titans try to blitz past the forces from Parsley, and Parsley put most of his forces near his comm. There's really nothing to catch up to those Titans. There is an Ilshi trying to just have some nice little pod shots, but the shield will hold or just regen by the time it does more damage. But look at this from Team 2's Georgia Joy, pushing in, getting a ton of damage to a couple of these mexes. There are some Team 1 PD hastily built it, but most of the engineers have been wiped out. Bongi's coming with those nice little grenade launchers. That mex is not going to have a fun day there. And in the pond, nothing's really happened, so it's kind of just a stagnant little conflict there. In the east, I think that strap bomber did eventually get knocked out of the sky. No, that's just a lot of reclaim. 1s and 2s. Strap bomber does not get knocked down, but it does now with all those bouncers flying overhead. And the units continuing on course here for Joy. Just Joy. See, I knew I said it wrong. They just need to keep moving. Any sort of hesitation means they do not get to the main base. Couple of Loyalists coming online. They have EMP weapons. That'll help. Couple of Perseus coming and more Titans inbound from Pi. And he's just, again, just conga lining them over here. So it's really going to deal with these. They'll probably get a couple of other defenses, maybe another T2 max or two. But I don't think they're getting into the main base anytime soon. I will admit, though, had the Strat Bomber gone in, it would have easily wiped out this Pigeon with all of these nice little E-storages hanging out for some extra power. Laser has been started, coincidentally enough, very early for any sort of laser play. Unless he goes for cloaking, then that makes a little more sense. But still kind of early, I will admit. 16 minutes on the clock for MSG. Looks like Parsley has fell back a little bit just due to Team 2's constant pushing in. And on the eastern side, still Dimitri just not giving Yoji a break. He's going to try to get a wall section built by Joy to help, but he has gun and nano on board, 3600 mass kill with his comm. Probably really needs to go just for shield and just full send it on those units, because he's getting a lot of T1 spam assistance, but nothing really too meaty. He really needs to get his land units online, specifically, of course, the Perseus, but he's going for air, so that kind of derails his ideas of what he really wants to do. Team 1's air player currently is the northwestern corner, and that's MSG. I mean, there could easily be a secondary air player. T3 air online for Roy, not really using it except for, I don't know if he's building ASFs or those Nathas. I think those are ASF. I always think those are Nathas for some reason, but I could be wrong and those are actually Nathas. Anyway, when he builds one, I'll look at it. Engineers have been stopped from the wall construction, and T2, T1 land facilities not really going to have a good day here. Lots of bricks. They'll show them a good time with a brick wall, I guess. Lots and lots and lots of T1 Mech Marines. But again, the problem with using Mech Marines against a unit like the Brick is it has high fire rate. So they can wipe out a Mech Marine in one shot, and then all they got to do is just keep firing. So it's really not going anywhere, and they have better range, and they have way more hit points. So you're just feeding the Horde hand with veterancy at this point. So not a good counter. You need Perseus, you need T3 units, or just a bunch of T2 artillery. That would also work, or PD, but artillery have better range, so probably that. But look at this. Look how many facilities knocked offline. Look how many Mech Marines. But interestingly enough, we do see some T3 SACUs running around. And they are the shield gun and whatever the other upgrade is called. I don't know what the other upgrade is called on that. Left arm? Right arm? Right arm? Yeah, because when they give the profile, you're looking at the comm, not behind the comm. It's very weird, because you would think you would look at it from the backside, essentially like a third-person RPG kind of game where you're moving your character around. You have his left arm, his right arm, and his chest plate. But you're looking at the front side of him, so his left is your right, and your right is his left. So it's a little confusing. I don't like it the way that way, but that's my little 2 cents on about it. Laser is started and done now here for MSG. Large T3 unit assistance here from Nagel. And they have a lot of Titans. Again, there's a lot of them, so I would have loved to see more Perseus out from Nagel, but that's a lot of Titans, to be fair, and they're facing off against T1 units. That's definitely a good call, but they do have a lot of support in Team 1 and T2 departments anyways. We do see that MSG wants on some of this action, so he'll move in to assist, and that's probably just to cover any sort of hook maneuvers from Team 2's Drimmer and Roy, because they did that earlier and they don't want to deal with it again. A couple of gunships online, but MSG not going to send anything in. But look at this brick wall and Titan wall and everything else inbound. We even see some spearheads. Yoji is forced to retreat. There's no way he can hold off against the firepower of that magnitude. There are some SACUs trying to hold the lines, but again, that's a lot of shots raining in. And that 26,000 hit point shield and 16,000 hit points are not going to last that much longer due to that fire rate on board those units. A couple of bricks come in to just cut off any sort of supply lines for Dimitri, and I don't even think Dimitri cares. His bulk of his forces are right here. They're trying to catch up to Yoji's commander. I think that's the main goal. If he gets to the water, he'll be kind of safe from the Titans and not really safe from the bricks, but at least he's kind of safe, I guess. SACU has some veterancy. That's nice. Doesn't add any sort of shield hit points, which would be kind of okay if you think about I think about it now. But it does get some base hit points just to add in there. A couple of Harbingers. Actually, sorry, Titans, not Harbingers. Joy goes, nope, nope, I'm going to go around now. See you, bye. It does look like the SACU is pulling a lot of the attention away from the comm of Yoji. Yoji focused from Pai's perspective, and Dimitri focused on the base. You can see that base is not going to have a good day. There's a lot of bricks. And that's really going to hurt Team 2's air power significantly. Couple of engineers. I don't really know. Can they? I feel like they can't be EMP'd for some reason, because the Lawyers did have EMP weapons on board, just wasn't firing it. SACU finally succumbs to the fire rate from all those bricks, and it's a slaughter. That bomber doesn't really get a lot of work done. There's not really a lot of other units nearby. Comm built an experimental, but that is not good. Looks like there's some combat in the pond, actually, from Comm's perspective, shelling the T3 naval headquarters, and it's almost destroyed, actually. That's going to hurt Team 1's Nagel. But again, the Navy isn't that important, but this is the huge important thing. Look at this. Tons of T3 Pigeons going down. Yoji's still alive, but he's not alive by that much. All of the forces have been surrounded by 3 players specifically. I mean, not specifically, but forces from Comm, forces from, of course, Joy and his commander, and Yoji. But those bricks not targeting the air facility kind of, well, I guess the AoE kind of did it anyway. Cascade, that doesn't help. He is hurting below 100 mass per second he's producing. Team 2's Drummer producing 500, so he's really keeping Team 2 roughly in this game. The Titans trying to help out, but they just can't really do a whole lot against the bricks. The Monkey, though, that's a different story. And that's going to really deal with most of these bricks. Of course, they're targeting on the T3 mexes. That's actually the better thing to go after, just due to the long-lasting cost of the everything that Yoji has lost. And it looks like the bricks have mostly been dealt with. They are targeting the T3 mexes specifically. There's still a bouncer, a couple of bricks trying to escape the the monkey. Another mex has been targeted. I think it will survive. It's going to be close. Their brick's going to go down here shortly. Oh, and the mex will go offline. That's 2 of those 3 mexes gone. Yeah, Yoji is just battered and bruised. He has his headquarters, which is great, because he desperately needs some T3 everything online. And it looks like Drimmer's been kind of holding off. I mean, he took a significant loss in unit count, but the fact that, you know, so many mexes, so many pigeons, essentially an entire player knocked out of the game for a while, and it's the air player too. That's huge for Team 1. Team 1 will have air supremacy here shortly. There are still some ASFs online for Yoji, but even if MSG takes the fight and loses it, if he kills off more than half, it doesn't matter, because there are no air facilities to really replenish the ASFs from Team 2. So that's an air win regardless of the situation for Team 1. Cloaking is coming online for MSG. Now, the only issue I have with him specifically doing it is not him the player, it's him the role. Having your air player be the one to go out, I don't really like that. And usually the air player is the one that sits in back and micros everything like that. But being on the front lines and trying to micro air at the same time, not as effective. Those are my 2 cents there. But I feel like maybe Dimitri would be better to go the cloaking route. I mean, especially because he's leading the charge as well, mostly. He's just sitting in the manufacturer base, but he's really just throwing Team 2 back and back and back. 24 minutes on the clock here. Nobody has died, so at 24 minutes, no one's dead, which is a really good sign for everybody, because you'd rather be alive and not have a lot of mass than be dead in some instances. Team 1's leaders in terms of mex count, but mass income is MSG. That makes sense because he's the air player. And then Dimitri, 11, and Nagel were pretty much tied. We have Drimmer on Team 2, and then everybody else is below 300. And he is really expanding out quite nicely and pushing back Team 1 Essentially, again, the mirror image that's happening. And we have, of course, Calm in the middle. He's taken out all of the naval forces for Team 1. The only thing he has to watch out for is there's also some artillery over here, which are dealing with the destroyers in the water currently. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game at the 25-minute mark. Thank you so very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And, of course, do those YouTube things that YouTube loves to see, which is like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever other things that YouTube tells you that you should do. You should do those things, because why not? Most of those things are free. I don't have memberships or anything on the channel, so I actually think everything is free now that I think about it. Anyway, I just appreciate it, so thank you so much. In the East, again, Team 1's having a nice little manufacturer frontline base online. Lots of Percys, lots of bricks. I mean, good luck, Team 2, just sending anything forward. The only thing that Team 2 does have going for them somewhat is they have the Ravagers online. Unfortunately, there's so many missiles inbound from Pi that they're countering a decent amount of the PD here, and there's also T3 artillery just hanging out over here. So shields and TMD and a whole bunch of other things need to be built. It's just swarm, 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 overwhelm, 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 die. That's Team 1's goals over here on this eastern side. Western side, not as much. There's not as much pressure as there used to be. And Team 2 is actually being the ones to give the pressure. But look at this. Team 2 has lost essentially everything north of the start of the water. Team 1 still holding a little bit of stuff south of the start of the water. So essentially I'm using the middle of the map as a nice little guiding line. Essentially Team 1 is, still has something down there versus Team 2. They have nothing north of that line. So Team 1 is definitely leading the map percentage in terms of land. Water is fluid. Unless it's a huge chunk of water, I don't really count it just because it's not really worth it, and it could change, but it does change from time to time. Percy's not being added to the group, though. That's not great for the brick lives, though. There are 2 monkeys inbound from Calm, and Calm is just going to throw the kitchen sink at these guys and not let anybody rest. There's still missiles, and is that where the artillery is? Yep, the trebuchets are over there. The bricks are grouping up. It does look like the Percys are mobilizing. Team 1's Dimitri not going for an experimental Azuvit that I've noticed, and he wouldn't build it all the way back here, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to get sniped, CEO. Bye. It is 27 minutes, so that's definitely a smart play there. Usually it's even earlier than that people move back to main base or even water, but he has a huge thing going for him, so he's not super, super worried. Crabs, monkeys are being overwhelmed, though. This monkey almost dead. And the brick force, again, slowly being dealt with, but there's just so much firepower raining in, not only from the direct fire weapons, but the indirect ones as well. PD trying to be kept online, but good luck with that with all the missiles and artillery raining in. Because, yeah, you can build all the Team D you want, but that physical, I mean, missiles are physical. But the physical thing of the artillery, you can't really deflect with the TMD. Chicken online here for Parsley. MSG actually took a hit. A huge chunk of his hit points gone. Looks like an SACU got wiped out, but that's very concerning, which means Team 2 either saw him for a long period of time, or there was just so much burst damage that just... not a good day. Not a good day for MSG's comm at all. Monkeys, surprisingly enough, are both still alive, but this one is going to die very quickly. 2,000, almost 3,000 hit points remaining. This brick wall plus Percy incursion is still growing. SACU goes offline once again. Percy's are dealing with this chicken, though. A couple more rounds will kill him in. Looks like another monkey online, this time from Team 1's MSG. And now we see some bombardment here from the naval. But again, nothing too crazy. It doesn't have the maximum range as the battleships would have, but still, it's not really having that much effect on the main conflict. It's the edges of the map, and even edge map over here. Joy in full retreat due to this Percy and brick and everything else inbound. SACU badly bruised and damaged, but still alive. Monkey gonna give its life for the Calm. The Calm, maybe the first kill of the game. Percy's almost one-tap that Monkey Lord. 3-star veterancy. Joy goes forward. I think he's just gonna go out in a blaze of glory. Overcharge kills off a Percy, but he's dead right there. There he goes. Team 2 loses the first point of the game at 29 minutes, almost on the dot. due to that Percy and brick bonanza that's going on down there. We do see another Monkey Lord inbound, and all of the experimentals that Calm is building could be being sent to the front line. Oh, they are being sent to the front line, but being sent north and that sort of thing. But because of this huge amount of pressure, Yoji needs the assistance, and therefore the experimentals need to come this way. Now, most of the bricks have been dealt with now, but the Percys, that's a different story. All that alpha damage, very deadly. We see a strap bomber inbound from Roy coming to assist. Grabs a couple of Percys there. Actually hits one of them, kills it. The other one doesn't die. SACU goes down. Ravagers have been hastily built. T2PD hastily built. Yoji over here coming in to assist as well. He takes a shot or two to the face. He's got to be careful, but it looks like he should be fine, though. Gets underneath the shield to protect himself. Does drop into the yellow, but gets a veterancy. Almost back up to full HP. Wow, it's a huge push in hit points. But still, look at this artillery missile bombardment while the bricks continue to just levy, or level, not levy, but level everything in their path. It's just not great for Team 2's eastern side. It's been downhill since the beginning, and they have not been able to recover. They did ever so slightly, but then it was just, nope, go back down. Team 2's Yoji is back up into the air game, and he has a secondary facility online. That second base is going to help him get pretty close to where Germer's at. But Team 2, 1.7k versus 2.3k is a significant amount of mass to be behind. But there's a thing called artillery, and T3 artillery at that. Team 2's Germer has built one. He's building a second one, and he may have opened the can of worms with that. But to be fair, Team 1 is building their own, so nah. There are some shields being built. Chunk of hives taken out. Shield does come online, but unfortunately, probably due to the power situation, ooh, it'll charge and then immediately deplete. Oh, no, he has it plus now, so it should hold. Oh, but assisting is not going to help. There it went. Oh, the artillery shots inbound, takes out another chunk of hives, and the shield emitter is being built, so MSG's facilities are facing the wrath of the artillery. And the... Ooh, that was such a good hit. Ooh. Takes out most of the air grid, takes out a lot of the wreckage there. And ooh, that's got to hurt. T3 air facility still online, but the assisting facilities are knocked for a while. Looks like... Look at the missiles! Look at the missiles from those spearheads. I thought that was Fat Boy fire. That's Fat Boy fire. That's missile fire. Look at all of that nonsense. They're firing while they're moving. They're going wild and crazy. Wacky inflatable arm guy, salesman, thingamajig is what that reminds me of. I can never remember the phrase from the show, but it's like wacky inflatable arm salesman or something. Crab online, gonna outrange both of those monkeys. I think if the monkeys were in range of the crab, I think the monkeys win. I could be wrong, like if they would just teleport on top of them without anybody doing any damage until the initial shots. I think the monkeys win the fight in terms of damage, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but the monkey's laser puts out a lot of damage. In the western, I was going to say hemisphere, but the western side of things, Fat Boy pushing him with a couple of Othams. There is Percy's, and we know how Percy's work in this game. They click, delete, goodbye, see you later. See you at Christmas time, which is soon upon us. It's been super foggy where I live, so it's kind of weird. You walk outside and it looks like soup, just because it's just thick fog and whatnot. But the monkeys over here not doing so good. Get insta-killed by the bricks and the Percys and the crab, and then the crab is most likely going to die by Fat Boy fire, but the Fat Boy is producing a couple of parashields, so if the missiles do fire at him, he's a little bit of extra coverage. The crab... that's not... No. No. Goodbye. There's that last volley inbound. That'll kill him off. Team 1 Mech Marines. I don't... Why? I get that it's just something to shoot at, and they move very quickly, so it's hard for missiles to hit, but why? Now we have a second Fat Boy online, and look at all those missiles. You really need some loyalists over here, but even loyalists would not be able to reflect that many missiles. Team 1 back in Navy, satellite online for Pi. Missiles inbound here from the cruisers on the Roy side of things. Crab and a monkey. The monkey actually behind the crab and actually booping the crab. That's not a good place to stand. Actually, it can laser stuff through the crab's legs. That's not how physics works. But okay, monkey's down because he was the main threat. Now the crabs are down. That's going to be a little bit of crash damage on the wreck there. Loses, I think it was almost 2,000 mass. Bat Boy's in range. They're not going to get anywhere near that wreck, unfortunately for them. And in the eastern side, the Percys continue to just rain damage on their opponents. Yoji cannot get a front line to save his life in this game. He's still alive, but he just cannot keep a solid front line. There's just too much constant pressure here from Dimitri. Dimitri going for a bunch of, looks like maybe air facilities now because his teammate on the west has lost his. Satellite. Artillery has been started almost in the green here for him. Satellite, second and third have been started. I do like that there's more P-gens being built. Don't like that it's next to the SMD, but at least there's shield coverage for both those, so it's something. See, this is a little bit better. TMD, PD, shields, all that. Love it. Gotta love that little just constant coverage. Looks like the artillery from Team 2's Drimmer is actually focused on him. I feel like it'd be focused on Dimitri a little bit. He's the one continuing to just pressure Team 2 on his eastern side and alleviate a lot of that. Would be very, very nice for Yoji. Going after Nagel, yeah, he's been helping out the western side with his Fat Boys and whatnot, but that's not an immediate concern. This is an immediate concern, specifically because it's gone pretty close to the main base for Yoji at least another time after that major destruction that happened. But at 35 minutes, Team 1 has not lost a player. Team 2 has only lost Jojo Joy. So it's doing very good for players staying alive. And there's a second artillery online for Dreamer. Granted, again, as I've said before, not a good place to stand. He does have shield, and he's at 4-star veterancy, so he can take a hit. I still wouldn't recommend standing there by any means. Don't know what else he's planning on. Laser overhead. He's building more shields. Looks like he's lost a couple of mass extractors, so probably focused on shield constructions and whatnot. Don't blame him there. Tele defense is Georgia Joy. That's what he's going now. Shield starting here for Yoji. He's at 11,000 mass. 5-star veterancy for him. 3 Fat Boys, 1 monkey, 1 crab walking to a bar. And Team 1's entire land army go, nope. See ya. Bye. They do have an Omni. Love to see that, but those Fat Boys are almost in range. So that Omni is going to be on the way out here for Team 1. I don't know if they have the secondary one somewhere. I would assume they do because they can see everything in the back line, which makes me think it's right about here. But there goes the Omni. It's knocked offline. And the Fat Boys moving into position. Second crab online for Team 1. SACU is going down. Fat Boy almost down here for Team 1's Nagel. Looks like he probably lost the second one as well. Yeah, he did lose the second one. But Engineer's already on the case. I need to split things because stuff's going on both sides of the map. Got to switch over here. Team 2's Fat Boys continuing to pressure, but they are going to come up against some nasty little bricks on the western side. The chicken is now dead. Crab is almost reclaimed, and it's already reclaimed. Team 1 on top of that with the reclaim this game. But Team 2 has caught up just due to, of course, the large sections of base that have been wiped out. Ion Storm will activate, doing a little bit of damage to Team 2's base. Nothing too crazy. It is frontline defenses, easily rebuilt. Fat Boy's secondary fire is online, which means not good distance here for Team 2. The Monkey Rex have now been reclaimed for Yoji. He's definitely going to love that. And Ion Storm, it's pretty much been not neutralized, but the damaging stuff or the really important defense stuff is kind of fine now. Like I said, there were 2 Fat Boys over here. It looks like Team 1 already reclaimed. No. Okay, he's over here. He was just hiding. He's severely damaged, though, so gotta watch out for that one. 3 Fat Boys. That's not critical mass of Fat Boys, but it's worrisome for sure. There is some T2 artillery fire being spammed up and some Corsairs to assist with taking out shields. T2 stationary shields being built by some SACUs to protect said Fat Boys, but crabs are inbound and they don't like those Fat Boys by any means. I think they're good ice cream sandwiches, to be fair, but they don't like them when they fire a bunch of artillery shells at their big giant cousin crabs. Something like that. Chicken actually in range of a Fat Boy. Not great. The chicken will probably die, but it wants the Fat Boy dead. I don't blame them. Those things are annoying. The slow cannon will do most of the damage, but it will claim the life of that fat boy. The weaker one over here is still alive. I probably would have swapped those and kept this one as more of the healthy one, but hindsight 2020 and whatnot. Looks like all fat boys still alive. That one has lost its shield and some of its hit points. T2 artillery still raining in, but the fat boy able to slowly tickle at those shields, if I can speak correctly. Now I think most of the pressure is now kind of alleviated. It's still going on, and there's missiles raining in all the time, but it's hard to target things that are moving. Corsairs slowly coming in all the time. Crab trying to offer his nice little buffer. There's just so many bricks online. It just doesn't even matter. Shields are down. Fat boy in range of a crab. Fat boy is dead, and the crab barely goes down. Had it been 10 seconds sooner, it would have been enough, but it is not. Targeting white artillery, says MSG. Artie says Roy. There's 2 artilleries online here for Demetrius. It's a 2v2 game here in terms of artillery, unless somebody built another one. Well, it's under construction, so no, but soon. Our sub-bomber has been started. Artillery for Team 1's MSG. Second one has been started, so that's 3 artilleries for Team 1, 2 for Team 2, all disruptors for Team 1, and all dukes for Team 2. So nothing really emissary, of course, because there's no Aeons. And everything else is just a standard artillery shot, if I remember correctly. I don't know the exact damages for all the other ones, but the emissary pulse nonsense is very, very good at very weakened shield positions. And the shielding, speaking of which, is starting to collapse for Drimmer. He's standing, and again, like I said, in a not good spot, so he's got to move here shortly. Fat Boy wreck being reclaimed. Second Fat Boy has no shields. Third Fat Boy has no shields, but the artillery has now mostly been dealt with. There's more shields trying to be built, but with all the SACUs, other bricks, and whatnot running around, I don't think Team 1 has enough firepower right now. They have another crab, though, but no. And a lot of those spearheads have been wiped out. Look at all those dead spearheads. That's a lot of reclaim. We started the match with 155, roughly 1,000 mass. Doubled that now, 300,000, with a total of 700,000 plus were reclaimed. SACU explosions. I don't love that they're the same noise as a nuke. Please change it so I know that they're not nukes, so I don't miss the kaboom. Artillery still actually striking that fat boy. Maybe that was a fat strike. I don't know. It looked like that. More and more Gunthers being built. It's just a slowly retreat, build more, slowly retreat. Oh, that Awa sub-bomber is going to have some fun with those fat boys. Those fat boys are still not moving. They're trying to secure the wreck. Artillery. Yeah, that is artillery raining in, which means there's one right there. Awa sub-bomber's moving in. It's going to get a nice little grouping there. Both fat boys not moving, and it will actually get out of there scot-free. There goes the Awa sub-bomber. The shields will take most of the impact, but that's gonna hurt. That's a... Hold on, that shield... Wait, hold on. Is it just me, or did that Awa sub-bomb do nothing to that fat boy, even though it directly impacted it? ASS will have a fight. Bomber maybe moving in again. I wouldn't recommend it. That's a huge horde of ASFs. That bomber's just gonna die. And the ASFs pull back, and that's actually great for Team 1. Had the ASFs continued been fighting, that would have been a great kill. Shields are now down. I feel like they nerfed the Awasa bomb or something, because I feel like that should do a lot more damage, but maybe not. 71 versus 104. ASFs have to fight once again. There is a lot of AA over here to the north, and those ASF numbers have been dwindled significantly for Yoji. A run-by attempt on the land side of things for Roy. Definitely don't shoot at your own units with those cruiser missiles there. And it's all Team 1 spam. Not really worth it, in my opinion, to just throw Team 1 spam at nothing really worth it at this point. Awasa bomb going after the monkey that made it past the huge amount of defenses. Percy's, though, like I said, they can one-tap stuff very easily, and that's why it's going west and not east. Bomb will drop once again on top of him. That's going to be, what, another 8,000 damage? No, 12,000 damage. Monkey, though, is at 5-star efficiency. Another Omni goes down. The monkey finally defeated. But still, ASF's moving in. They're going to go after the bomber. Team 2 has 1 air, as stated by somebody in the chat. Drimmer. We can win air, but can't kill the bomber. That doesn't make sense. ASF's going to have a nice engage here from MSG, and it's going to crash land right out of the shielding for Team 1. Nothing too crazy. Better there than here. YOLO has been started by Dimitri. Gunships moving in. They definitely will notice the the YOLO being built there. Yeah, they can see it. It's right there. Gunships trying to target, I think, the P-gens, but they're not having a lot of success. They should be targeting the emitters. They're underneath the shielding, so you can easily just target the T3 emitters and then worry about everything else, but they're trying to hit the disruptor itself, but it's just not really going anywhere. Anyway, I do love the attempt, but I think the emitters would have been a better target. Artillery has been cut in half for Team 2's Drimmer. He has one being rebuilt. Still has the original one, but didn't have a good day in his base. Team 1 still has the 3 disruptors online, so they're now winning 3-1 versus a 3-2 game. And it looks like Roy is the target, and he's suffering. He's getting his shields assisted quite heavily, but his base is not doing so good. It's not bad. It's just not great. Calm underneath a decent amount of shield. Well, decent being 2, but again, the only thing I'm concerned about is the 2 pigeons that are right here, so probably should fix that. But he's building a Scathis. Now, as everybody knows, and I think most people feel the same way maybe, Scathis, worst game ender by far. The Paragon, you have to build it, and then you can build stuff essentially infinitely with it. So yeah, there's a little bit more time involved, but you could be building 6 Salvations, couple Colossi, all the T3 air, land, whatever you want to build, and maybe run out of mass, because the Paragon isn't infinite, but it's a lot. It's a lot of mass. The Scathis is just a watering can. And now it's nice for large groups of T3 units. Like this right here would be great to take out, but a shielded position like this is a different story. I think it'd be better off to target this over here if it gets built in time. 43 minutes on the clock here. 3 Fat Boys. A couple of SACUs. Corsairs inbound. There's not a lot of AA or ASF nearby. They do take out the Corsairs after the first pass, though, but the shield is down already. Another volley, another squadron or so will take out one of the Fat Boys. Artillery now targeting Yoji, and that is going to be almost a direct impact on his main shielding. He has just been bombarded this game, literally and figuratively. Mostly literally. Needs to get those T3 and UEF shields online. One pops back online. That one pops back online. He does have his main shield on board. His satellite, though, not shielded. Not good. Not good. You got to keep that thing online. Oh, and it's gone. Yep, that was a direct impact. Ouch. That's what I have to say to that. Fat Boys and SACUs continuing to just ignore the everything that's over there. Using the water to kind of hide a little bit. Fatties have been spotted by Team 1. Yeah, they've been spotted for a while. SACUs moving in, though. There's a couple of Percys masquerading as SACUs. They look honestly very similar, to be fair. One's a little bit more bulky on the torso side of things, but it's pretty much the same thing. Except one has 42,000 hit points and one has 7,200. Artillery still online. Shield is holding, roughly. MSG does have a nice little monkey to defend against some telemaser nonsense. Team 1 has their own disruptor, Duke, online for Nagel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 artilleries plus the soon-to-be YOLO plus the soon-to-be another artillery, so 5 versus Team 2's. Oh, they have 2 now. So, but again, it's 4v2 currently. Double the amount of artillery, especially if it's ringed by T3 P-gens. So kind of increases the fire rate. I think it's a 100% increase, so it fires twice as fast. I think it's 25% per P-gen, if I'm not mistaken, or T3 P-gen. But some Percys walk into a bar with the Fat Boys hanging out, and the Percys, they're going to do some damage to these SACUs. Some of the shots do miss. That is the one of the only downsides to Percys, is if their shot misses, it takes a couple of seconds to reload. So if the units are able to dodge, they're actually pretty effective against Percys. But when you have that many, you miss a couple shots, you should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Fat Boys are online for Team 2's Yoji. And I would not be surprised if he has another one somewhere. Yup. And he's building another one after that. His shielding is starting to hold now, but if all 4 artillery emplacements fire at him, he's not going to last much longer. Looks like Team 2's Drimmer's focusing on the Duke side of things. Probably should focus on the one over here, but again, hindsight and all vision and whatnot. That's a lot of Fat Boy pressure. I feel like at this point, you could just cut across the map and go after the entire western edge. You could just do that with all those Fat Boys. Yeah, it allows Team 1's Dimitri to push in. But the main concern, of course, I think Team 2 knows about it now. Oh, they can see it. And they can see it from pretty far off. Is that YOLO. That's probably where those artillery emplacements from Drimmer should be targeting. They should be able to reach that emplacement, though. Yeah, well, that's in range. The only thing not in range is really Dimitri's base, but I'd say the majority of the important stuff is still in range. It's pinged by Drimmer GG. I mean, you should be firing at that now, kind of thing. Shielding still holding. Shielding still holding. Team 2's Yoji. Shielding not holding. Another Fat Boy online. I think Yoji might just send his Fat Boys in. Yes, he does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them bombarding everything in range. Those SACUs coming in to assist. I mean, there's honestly, to be fair, there's not a lot between the Fat Boys and the YOLO. The Crab is down. There's artillery over here, but the range on those, of course, are limited. There is some T2 artillery here, but there's enough Fat Boys to just tank all the shots. YOLO is outbound. Is it going to be a defense YOLO? Is it going to be a defense YOLO? No. No. Oh. Drimmer. Hate to say this, bud, but you don't have an SMD. Even if you had one, it isn't loaded. So that's not good. And it's really important that Team 2 takes that out, because if that YOLO stays online for even 2 or 3 more minutes, that's game. 1 Fat Boy is down due to counter Fat Boy pressure. Second Fat Boy actually might just go down. Obviously, if the clink cameras are helping with that. Second Fat Boy, it's going down very, very quickly. Does Team 2 even know? That's Team 1. Does Team 2 even know about that? No, they don't, but they do now. Second Fat Boy is down. 4 remain. Crab trying to chase them. Oh, of course, let's go over here. Kaboom! Drimmer, you didn't move. That's a dead comm. Too late. Kaboom! Second kill of the game goes to Dimitri. I think he got the first kill as well. And that's to a YOLO. That's... ouch. Most of the Fat Boys are offline. SACU is coming into range. Fat Boy fire starting to... That looked like it was starting to reach that YOLO, but I guess not. All the Fat Boys besides one are down. YOLO is outbound. It's going to land here, but all of the other stuff is already dead. The YOLO might get a Fat Boy, but that's it. Monkey coming to range. SACU's moving into range. T1 PD being hastily built. And it does look like the SACUs are just going to stand there and take out some YOLOs with some AoE maybe, but is it going to be enough damage to take out the actual emplacement? No, it's not. And the monkey goes down. Ooh, that's game. And Team 2's Yoji knows it, and he control Ks as well. Not as well, but he control Ks. It is a 5v2 in favor of Team 1. They've been in the lead for comms, alive for the entirety of the game, and they might actually have a flawless victory on their hands. In the base for Rory is not looking good. Western side has collapsed due to Drimmer's death. Eastern side still has comm alive, but there's really not a lot left. The YOLO is the main issue for Team 2. MSG starts a teleporter. I don't think that's needed at this point, to be honest with you. No, flawless victories aren't important at all, but it's nice to be able to say we won a game and nobody died. Comm. I mean, it's nice to have a Scathis. It's better than having no game enders, but maybe artillery would have been... T3 artillery would have actually probably been better at this point. I mean, that's kind of... No. I don't know if it would have been better because the mass cost is Roy is defeated by MSG. There he is right there due to artillery fire, leaving Calm, the last remaining player. Full shares units are on, of course. Where's the mass cost for that thing? I don't see it. Am I just staring at nothing? Oh, no, E-cost. Yeah, I do not see the cost in mass for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's an engineer side of things. There it is, 220,000. Why does it not say that in the... Anyway, 220,000 versus 69, 70,000. So you're talking about 3 artillery pieces for the price of 1 Scathis. That actually might have been enough if all of the artillery from Team 2 was targeting on that spot with maybe 1 or 2 for Calm. That would have been enough. Scathis does come online. But again, YOLO and SMD... There's no SMD. There are no SMDs online anywhere. Obviously, the YOLO is going to probably target this thing.
Strategic launch detected.
There it is. There's the nuke. Shields are down anyways. Will the YOLO even get a chance to take out the Scathis? That's another question. I don't... Oh, teleportation is inbound. Ooh, GG says Calm. Will he give Team 1 the satisfaction, or will he teleport out and see you later? YOLO is inbound. Teleportation is inbound. There's MSG's Calm. Shields still hold. They're gone. Calm is dead. YOLO is inbound. It's going to crack. Oh, the shields come back online at the brief moment. Calm goes down. And there goes the YOLO right behind it. MSG does not die to friendly. Oh, he does die. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is he? Hold on. No, he's dead. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, so that's a flawless victory. I mean, the last second and your name is still on the scoreboard. I mean, that's a flawless victory here for Team 1. MVP, I mean, Dimitri gets it. The pressure on Yoji was devastating. It was, I wouldn't say it's the thing that won Team 1 the game, but creating that huge amount of just, I have this territory, go see you bye. And took out a base, took out a huge amount of mass income. It set back Yoji significantly. It allowed him to really build up. He got artillery pieces online, got a YOLO online. Granted, the YOLO at this point wasn't the end-all, be-all. I mean, there was 2, 4, 5. There was 7 artillery pieces online by the end of the game, so it wasn't really important to have it. It was nice to have, but it wasn't the game-winning move. But I think the constant pressure assisted by Pi was not more than enough, but a huge, huge reason why Team 1 won the game. And that is the game here, folks. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or not with my MVP pick or just what you thought about the game overall. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one.